there, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening, and welcome to another edition of the MrWarrenHayes Show. I am MrWarrenHayes, hanging out with you tonight on this show, which I call my own, the MrWarrenHayes Show. And man alive, are you folks ready to sit around and talk about wrestling? And what, you know, listen to me talk about wrestling, right? Are we ready for that? MrWarrenHayes with you tonight, because that's what's going to happen for the next 120 minutes or so, 2 hours. You know, I know math. 60 times 2 is 120. Come on, hit me with your math questions. I'm going to knock them out of the park. Boom, 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 boom. No, I won't actually. I'm an English major. I'm an English major who has an issue, right? Who has an issue with phone case wallets, which I talked about last week, and we've discussed. It's been I wouldn't say a frequent topic of discussion, but it has, you know, the talk of it has popped back onto the MrWarrenHayes Show Discord, which you should join, by the way. And I'm telling you, like, the more I think about it, like I had strong opinions in regards to phone case wallets previously to when we talked about it last week. But this, like, the more I thought about it, and the more we talked about it, it's clear to me that having a phone case wallet is the worst thing you could do. Because if you lose it, you are in so much trouble. Because not only do you lose your credit card, your debit card, your membership card to the gym, your library card, you also lose your phone with all your personal shit inside. And as much as Apple and you know, other phone makers like Samsung and Google would like you to believe that the face technology means that no one will break into your phone because biometrics are unique to you. They'll break in. Everything is hackable. Everything is cracked. Like, you're done, son, if anyone does end up getting your phone case wallet. It's ridiculous. I don't know why anyone would want one. I really don't. It doesn't, like, it is the absolute convenient to a degree. Like, how is it that much more convenient? How really is it that much more convenient than, pulling out another thing instead of that one thing? Carry less things in my pockets. That's what pockets are for. What are you carrying so much in your pockets that you can't carry a wallet and your fucking phone? My car keys. Jesus, okay. So you take, here, look, let's have a thought experiment, shall we? Look, here's a pair of MrWarrenHayes jeans. Jesus Christ, look at the size of my waist. Fucking hell. So look at this, okay? Let's say you decide, you're like, my phone can go into this pocket here. My car keys can go into this pocket here. So what happens? My car keys don't come in contact with my phone, so, the keys aren't scratching the phone case or the screen, right? And then you flip them around, and then you can slide your wallet right in here, right? And you don't need a big wallet. Look at how thin mine is. It's a tiny little wallet. Who carries cash? No one carries cash anymore. The pandemic, folks, has made us hate monetary dollars and bills and cents and whatnot. So you just one thing here, one thing here, one thing. That's not outrageous. It doesn't. Now, okay. So we're talking about this from the perspective of a male, right? So here's the thing. I can understand. Now, this is the problem. It's not even a thing. When it comes to ladies, to women, I understand that the convenience of pockets isn't necessarily something that is built into many of a woman's fashion garments. That I understand. So the problem here is not you, ma'am, lady, woman, person. No. It is the phone fashion industrial complex that has decided to push the phone case wallet on you because there's no pockets on your slacks, ma'am. Why is that? Because they decided not to put pockets on it. Look, I don't want to pull out the tinfoil hat and start calling conspiracies where maybe there might not be, all right? I'm not going down that road. I'm not going full Alex Jones on you today, but just keep one thing in mind. Who are these phone case wallets marketed to mostly? Not necessarily dudes. I'm just saying. Did I say we were going to talk about wrestling tonight? I feel like we can continue talking about fashion, the convenience of carrying your own shit. I'm enjoying coffee tonight, if you're wondering. Thank you, everyone, for sitting through this. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you coming here, joining me live here on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes, and, just bearing through that warm-up rant, I guess, tonight. I really do appreciate it. Everyone who's joining me live here, because, yes, I record every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. I do it live on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes. And look, Kelly Tonjes is here. Hi, Kelly. Robert Larry is here. And I'm not making these names up. They're actually living human people in this chat that are named like that. Tim Trevor, good friend of the show. Nice to see you, Tim. Justin Firestein, nice to see you, sir. Welcome to the chat. We got our boy Ben, Phantomark82. You know the drill, folks. Facebook.com/Phantomark82. YouTube.com/Phantomark82. Our boy Ben is getting some circulation. He's getting thrown into some lists, some synthwave radio beats. The thing here, if you support Phantom Mark 82 right now, you will be able to say, I knew this guy before he got big. And that's what you got to do. Go support our boy. Follow him. Just subscribe. He's good stuff, and I appreciate him letting me liberally use his music on my stream. Thank you again, Ben. Fifth generation Carney Joseph with it. Good to see you too. Welcome as well. We've got Heather who's here too. DGMC is in the chat. Hello, sir. Am I missing anyone? No, I don't think so. I haven't missed anyone just yet. But the evening's young. Thank you for joining us live here. And if you're enjoying, look, if you are, I don't care on what side of the fence you fall on the phone case wallet spectrum, but whatever, give the video a like, because that's cool. It really does support the channel quite a bit, so I appreciate it. Thank you all so very much. If you're listening to this live or on demand, please feel free to do so. That'd be great. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast application, hi there, everyone in audio land. Thank you. Thank you so much. Leave a review, a comment, a 5-star review. 5-star reviews can include, and I encourage leaving reviews about phone wallet cases. I really do. I encourage, whatever 5-star review you leave about the Mr. Warren Hayes Show on Apple Podcasts or wherever that you do the review thing, 5 stars, and leave your opinions on phone case wallets and how they are a product of the smartphone fashion industrial complex. Oh boy. Look, belltobells.com, you know the drill. Women's Wrestling Wire, all that good stuff. Bell to Bells, BELLTOBELLES.com, youtube.com/belltobells. I've interviewed so many fantastic wrestlers. Go check it out and follow us on Twitter as well at Bell to Bells. Chew. I mentioned it. There's a Discord. Link is in the description. If you're around here live, the link will pop up. The bot will eventually have it pop up. Oh, you already did. There you go. It's right there. Come and join the Discord. We've been having good times recently. There's a good vibe in the Discord. Not that there usually isn't, but there's some. Maybe it's everyone's getting into the holiday spirit. Maybe it's all the there's lots of good news coming out of wrestling too. There's good stuff. Lots of great stuff coming up in January. I think people are excited. Come talk wrestling with us. Join the Mr. Warren Hayes Show Discord today. And don't forget as well. Don't forget to come and join me on the post stream as well. After we're done here on the main show, head on over to a private members only stream where we continue the conversation about pro wrestling. And tonight it's an open topic night. There's lots of stuff going on, and I want to know what stuck with you this week over the past few days. What topic of wrestling sort of like stuck with you, and you're like, I want to talk about this, Warren. I want to chit chat with us. So you come, you bring your topic, we chat. You join us in the Discord. I take live calls, or you join us just in the chat as well, and we can discuss. We can go back and forth like that as well. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool. It's a great way to show some support for the Mr. Warren Hayes Show as well if you become a member of the channel. And you can also leave us a super chat, and I will read your question, comment, mood, state of mind, or whatever, live and on the air. After this delicious sip of coffee. Now, before we get into the weekly wrestling inspection in and about itself, just before we really dive in here, it's been the talk of wrestling Twitter for most wrestling discussion, not just Twitter, just about everywhere today. It was announced that WWE has released it was learned, right? Reported. Wasn't announced. WWE didn't come out with this. Let me fix my verbiage here. It was learned today that WWE released superstar wrestler Jeff Hardy after being sent home from a live event, following an incident at a live event this weekend, Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, in Texas. During the match, he was in a tag team match. He just walked away into the crowd and he disappeared. News came today that the office had released him and that the office had offered him help in rehab, which he did not accept. Now, all I want here is for Jeff Hardy to be healthy. I want him to find peace, and I want him to achieve wellness. That's all I wish for him. And frankly, if you have been entertained by Jeff Hardy over his long and extensive career, I think that is the same type of sentiment you should be extending. Unfortunately, there's some discourse out there that I feel I want to address, and I don't want to spend. I feel like I could speak a full hour on this, but I won't. I promise, because it's not exactly great news. We wish the best for Jeff, but look, I want y'all to take a moment just to think, just to open yourself up to a new perception, maybe a new way of seeing things here. Jeff Hardy's issues with addiction have been extremely well reported, and unfortunately have been in the public eye for decades at this point. And battling with addiction is extremely difficult, and just saying it's extremely difficult is underselling how tough it is. An addict's brain is wired in a way that it will always seek what it should not have. And it's wired in a very different way than someone who has never had to struggle with it, someone who is completely sober. It's just not the same thing. It will always try to put that person to get what the brain feels it's missing. And it treats logic in a very, very different way. We might be sitting around and saying to ourselves, why doesn't he's got a family and a kid, and he's got this dream job, what the fuck is he doing throwing this all away? He should know better than to go and do this shit. I would argue, and I don't know Jeff, but I would maybe say that he probably realizes that he shouldn't be doing this. But that's not how his brain operates. His brain is his worst enemy. It's working against him on a daily basis. This is why when you talk to people who have sobered up and who are in programs and who are trying their best to lead a normal life, when they tell you the struggle is daily, the struggle happens every single day, to try and not think about drinking, to go and pick up a six-pack or even like just whatever. It is extremely difficult to understand for someone who is not in that position, right? And for that, I'm imploring you as listeners, watchers, viewers of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show to not fall into patterns that seem normal to you where you're like, no, I just don't get it. And we don't expect you to get it. You're not, and in fact, you should celebrate the fact that you don't understand what's going on, that you don't understand how Jeff Hardy is going, why Jeff Hardy is doing the things that he's doing. Celebrate that your brain is on your side on that level, instead of trying to place, values onto, trying to place your own values onto to something else. It's unless you're in it, it's really, really hard to understand. Then the report that came out that said that he turned down help from WWE, I've seen so many people take that as a judgment that the guy doesn't want help, that the guy, he's just gonna keep fucking up his life and he doesn't care. Jeff Hardy is not in his first attempts at rehab. He's done it previous times. Maybe, and this is entirely possible, and I'm not saying this is true. I'm not even going as far as to say, well, I've heard nothing. I mean, this is the kind of shit that I don't hear any talk about. It is entirely possible that the rehab that WWE has available for him doesn't work for him. Maybe he was just like, you know what? I've been down this path. This is not working. I need to try something else. That's entirely possible. Sean Waltman, X-Pac, on Twitter today tweeted that out, something to that effect, saying that, you know, in-person rehab isn't necessarily the way to go for everyone. It can be a mixture of things. It can be different methods. Rehab isn't like automatically the thing. Because you know why? Because people are different. People have different experiences. People are as complex, vast, and numerous as there are people on Earth. So maybe Jeff is just in a position where he's saying to himself, I cannot do this in this context. I need to think of myself. I need to find another alternative. And that's entirely something that's possible. And so when you see the reports, when I see people just going out and going off on him, he declined help. He declined WWE's help. It doesn't mean he's not going to get help. But I do believe on one thing. I do believe there's one thing. I think there is one right way to approach this. I think there is only one right way to approach this. I think you show Jeff Hardy compassion. You show him positive energy. Because what he's going through is so profound and deep, and it reaches so deeply into the darkness of who you are, that the only thing that you can, the only thing that will keep you, that will bring you back out of it, is positive energy. I saw mostly great things on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. I saw mostly great things. People throwing support. If Jeff Hardy was a scumbag, I swear you wouldn't be seeing Big E tweeting about how fantastic Jeff Hardy is as a human being. You really wouldn't. And that's a sign of the quality of the person. What's happening to him is because of a condition, a disease, a problem that he is. And if all you have to contribute in this situation, and I don't want to moralize, but if all you have to contribute in this situation is, well, I'm done giving him chances. I'm done giving him chances. He keeps screwing up. What a screw up. I'm done giving him chances. Like, who are you? Who are you to do that? Who are you? Why are you even putting that out into the world? What makes you so precious to the fact that you feel like you have to do that? That you feel like that you sit on some throne and you're like, well, Jeff Hardy, his time is up. He gave it his all, and now I'm done. Pull the plug. It's insane to me. It's insane to me. Jeff Hardy is one of the most beloved wrestling figures of the past 30 years. A guy who has given everything to this business and has left so much of himself in the ring and outside the ring. And when things start getting a little tough, poo-poo, no, go away. Why? This is a dark hour. If anything, he needs support more than ever. He really, really does. And I saw in the chat, it's like, yeah, you know, people are saying, oh, he's going to AEW. And I have also read things where it's like, oh, I heard he used that to get out of his contract. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people on Twitter, on wrestling Twitter, live in so much of a wrestling bubble that we forget that basically behind everything, first and foremost, there are humans. There are people. living, breathing people that bleed and feel just like you and I, and that it's not always about AEW or WWE or contracts or whatever. Sometimes, and I would even say more often than we think, it is so human. Make your head spin. And if you know anyone who is in this position, if you know anyone who's struggling, if you yourself are struggling, and I hope you're not, please contact your local chapters of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. Reach out. Find some help. There is help around you, and there are people out there who are ready to help. Let's talk about different things now. Let's go with the weekly wrestling inspection. All right, so as we do, not usually, I always say usually, but no, it's not a usual thing. But sometimes, most of the time, occasionally, once in a while, I will open up a poll to the live viewers of the MrWarrenHayes show, and I will ask the people who are here live, what they would like me to start talking about. What would be the first thing you'd like to hear me chat about? The first topic. And tonight I put on the board, I put the War Games review, AEW, Fate Forever review, the Beyond show this weekend, and Becky and Liv. Half of the people want me to start talking about AEW. I'm a man of the people. I am a man of the people. What are you gonna do? So let's start talking about AEW. Starting off this week with last Friday, Rampage. Which I thought was a fine show. I thought it was a very good show. We're coming around. We're coming around to the main. I know the chat is spamming Hook right now, right? So yes, but I'm gonna stretch this shit out. I'm not gonna blow the load just yet. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna stretch this one out. Want to say hello to Swiss Roll Chris. Nice. You and Mr. Fretz is here as well. Good to see you, Fretz. Welcome to the chat. Sammy Guevara defended the AEW TNT title against Tony Nese in a very, very strong match. I don't know what else is like. It was a very, very, very strong match. Maybe lacked, sometimes you have these matches that just have like that spark, right? That's something where you're like, woo, it just takes you over, gets into that third gear, and I think that's just what was missing to an otherwise extremely solid, well-wrestled fight. It was very good. No complaints, I'm just being very nitpicky because I feel like there was something else to get out of here. I really do. Nice to see Tony Nese on a bigger stage like this. It's like not closing out Friday nights on 205 Live. I thought it was a good match. I think the challenge that AEW is going to have with Tony Nese is to have him really find, is going to have him find his, and I'm not trying to be cute here, his niche, his Tony niche. I'm trying not to be cute. But when you're so damn cute, it's so fucking hard to not do it. Am I right? No, that's like, I like Tony Nese, and I have always loved his work. I think he was an underused member of the 205 Live crew for a long, long time. But I'm a little behind the fact that the guy lacks personality. He lacks the connection with the audience because his work is extremely good. So very strong. you know, anyway, we'll see how things go. But I thought this was a very strong match. Jade Cargill squashed Janai Kai. Okay, so if you are a long time, no, not that long time, but look, I have sung the praises of Janai Kai on multiple occasions, on Twitter, on a couple of times on this show as well. She's the real deal. Like, she is the real deal. A girl who can strike the hell out of people, right? Just and looks the part. She looks like a fighter. She looks like she can tear your head off. And, you know, she calls herself the Kick Demon. There's a reason for that. Absolutely brilliant. She's a brilliant fighter. You sort of look at this with Jade Cargill and you're like, what's the big deal? Most of these indie people that AEW brings in for a one-off, for a dark match, and so on and so forth, a lot of us get excited about because we're familiar with their work on the indies, but they come into AEW on a dark or on a Jade Cargill squash, and that's just it. It's a squash. It's not there. It's not a spot for them to shine, kind of thing. Especially not against Jade. Jade, her job is to railroad the competition. That's what she's there for, right? Especially when you bring in someone from the outside. And this is just business. It's booking 101. I'm fine with it. But man, you go off of this and you go and explore it. You go and find some Janai Kai matches. She is absolutely remarkable. She's the real deal. And I swear, like, she has good hype right now. She's very young. Give her a couple of years. And give her a couple of years, and a lot of people are going to be losing their mind in regards to our girl Janai. She's fantastic. She really, really is. And another squash for Jade Cargill. I mean, this is what you do. This is what you do. And look, I'm telling you, look, here's the thing. I am still convinced. I'm not convinced. I am still fairly certain that they being AEW, are preparing the TBS title for Jade, or preparing Jade for the TBS title. I'm still going to go back to the match that she had with Red Velvet a couple of weeks ago, which I didn't think was very good, and I think served to expose Jade a little too much, in the sense that it was her longest match against Red Velvet, someone she's wrestled twice in the past and who she usually has good chemistry with, but this match didn't work. Again, if I'm the booker, if I'm Tony Khan and I had penciled in Jade to win, I look at that match. I look at this 9-10 minute match that she ran, and I'm like, maybe she's not quite ready for that kind of spot. And again, I will hammer this home, time and time again. Jade Cargill is fantastic. Got a great look. She looks the part. She acts the part. She has the charisma. She has the presence. She's got all the naturals, all the intangibles. She just needs a little time. She just needs a little more time to bake for the position that they want her in. That's all. That's my only thing. And God bless her, because she's improving, but she's still not quite there yet. And I'm okay with her wrestling on live television and on live television, getting her reps in like that, because it is the only way you'll learn. And I'm going to talk about that later when I talk about another subject regarding women's wrestling, Jesus. But Jade's fantastic. And honest to God, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm stroking my goatee. Tony Khan has a goatee, right? If not, he should have a goatee to fit this image. You know, one of these long ones, like in those kung fu movies, how the villains always had these very long goatees, right? What do you want from me? I started talking about the fucking iPhone wallet cases for like 7 minutes. I want Jade to be used to the best of her ability. I still think that they're pushing her to get that they're pushing this to get the title. Why would again to this they had her have a squat. They had her have a squash match because they want to continue to drive this story home that she's a threat. Now you can also flip this and just simply say, Warren, there was never the plan for her to get the belt. They just wanted to build a super strong heel for Ruby Soho, and I can buy that too. And it's just like, I want to be all in on the Jade stuff. I really do. Hey, I want to say hello to Ross Vape, 8-month member. How you doing, pal? Left a message here. He says, I like Tony Nese, but his nephew not so much. Wait, hang on. His nephew. Wait, I'm not sure hang on. I'm not sure I get the reference. I'm not going to pretend. I thought but no. I'm not sure I get the reference. I feel stupid now. I'm sorry. There's got to be I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But hey, in the meantime, because I'm sure someone's going to explain it to me, and I'm going to go like, duh, because then I'm going to say hello to Evan Wright, who joined us in the chat as well. Good to see you, Evan. Pete Davies is here as well. Nice to see you. So we'll see how things go. Main event I thought was fantastic. FTR defeating Death Triangle, which was actually Penta and Pac, because Rey Fenix was probably already in Mexico. I thought this was fantastic. I thought it was such a good main event. And how fucking good is Pac? How good? This is one thing that I don't think we talk enough about, because I don't think he's we're starting to talk. They're starting to get, some discourse over AEW wrestlers who are underused, right? Who aren't necessarily, that should be pushed a little, push a little more. We all, there's the Brian Cage. I think it's all started with the Brian Cage stuff, right? And I think Pac is in there. I think Pac he's been, look, there's probably reasons for this, because, for some strips of time he wasn't on television, the pandemic, now he's back, and, he's very on and off like that. I just want more Pac. I think he is the prototypical 21st century wrestler, strong, agile, personality, all fucking business, can sell, can strike. He can do it all. He is a living Swiss Army knife. That's corny, Warren. It's bad. Great main event. Great main event. Let's talk about AEW. And again, we'll ring the bell here, because, it's up. AEW Rampage on Friday nights is still currently the undisputed best, easiest wrestling show to watch on a weekly basis. 1 hour of wrestling, minimal nonsense, in and out. I don't know what more you'd want. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Let's move on to Dynamite, which started with a CM Punk promo. CM Punk coming out to the ring with MJF's music. And we were in Long Island, New York, the hometown of one Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And people lost their shit. They got excited. But CM Punk walked out, and then they started booing old CM Phil. They did the good old fashioned local heel gimmick, where the guy comes out and he's not liked in this one place, and he's gonna make damn sure that you don't like him, and he cuts a long a promo on basically on how much the Islanders suck. I mean, can anyone confirm that the Islanders suck? I may want to hear someone tell me that for like a fourth or fifth or sixth time. And then that led into the commercial, and then we came back from commercial, and then you got a shot of MJF arriving in a sports car, but like not like, you know, a Miata. Is a Miata a sports car? No, but anyway, I'm not talking like a low-range sports car. I'm talking like a luxury sports car. A Ferrari. Was it a Ferrari or a Lamborghini? Or was it a Jaguar? Or was it a, I don't know, a Rolls Royce? Or was it a, I don't know. I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about cars. Tell me about growing an herb garden. You know, Warren, should I put an oregano plant with a basil plant, or can I put in one same pot? Can I put thyme with basil? You know, I'll be able to. I'll walk you through it. That's not a problem. You know. But you come talking to me about cars. Warren, what kind of car do you drive? A red car. My car's red. I like flamboyancy sometimes. I like to stand out from the crowd. There's a lot of white cars. Over the past 5 years, there's a lot of white vehicles around me. Lots of them. So when I went to purchase this car, I had a choice of colors. And then we're like, what color would you like? Here, look, and we have the white. Here on the showroom floor, not on the showroom floor, but in the back, right? Because you don't leave with the cars on the showroom floor. It says in the back, we have a white one. You can drive out of the lot with it today. What are the other colors? We have red. Do you have a red in the back on the lot? No, we don't. We'll have to order it. It'll take an extra week. I waited the extra week to have a red car. That's how much I refused to conform. I confirmed that I wanted a red car, but I refused to conform and get a white car is what I'm trying to say. And that's all I need to know about cars. What kind of car do you drive, Warren? It's a red car. What year is it? The year they made the red car. Have you changed the oil on your car, Warren? It is a red car. Hey, look at this. Dan from Pro Wrestling News in the chat. Good to see you, Dan. Nice to see you. Long time no chat. So yeah, CM Punk. And MJF arrives and so they have this pre-tape, this segment where he's in the high school and he has his varsity jacket on. I don't know, like, you know, this is the kind of thing that sort of. And so MJF he does this thing, and then they cut to the arena and he comes in, and then we're doing the Battle Royal thing. You know, CM Punk has already left at this point. Now, I want to preface this. Kyle Ierson, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. I want to preface this with something very, very important, okay? Because there's a lot of people out there in the wrestling community who took it upon themselves to try and explain to me how wrestling works this week, okay? On multiple levels. I understand and I appreciate AEW doing what they did with CM Punk. Mega babyface, coming out to be the local heel, to make sure to cut heel promos on the local crowd, to make sure that the local crowd would cheer for the typical babyface. And I appreciate AEW doing that. And I understand why they did it, okay? I understand. And I appreciate why they did that. And because there is another major wrestling company out there that doesn't give a shit about what local crowds think. And using local crowd heat is something refreshing. It's something that all promotions should do, but it's refreshing to see that, right? Okay? So let's establish, I hope I've clearly established that I understand why they did it, okay? But why did we start the fucking show with a promo again this week, AEW? And you know what? Look, I know everyone was losing their mind and they were going, "No, this is so great." And it was good. I would even go as far as to say this was not CM Phil's best promo work. I think local heel CM Phil could have done a much better job. I thought it was a little long in the tooth. Thought it was getting a little redundant. Didn't think it was all that great. And it lasted for the entire first quarter hour. And then when we come back, there's the shit with the car and the walking around at night. You know, MJF like some kind of weird skulking weirdo, you know, coming to the you know, in his Ferrari, coming to the high school, to sell cocaine to the kids? MJF, is that what you're doing? And that lasted a whole other 4 minutes. Like, honestly, we didn't get a match until close to 20 minutes in. And I'm like, what is this? There's another show that does that, and that I don't particularly care about, that does that all the time. I don't want to start seeing this on AEW, and they've been doing it recently a lot more. I think they didn't do it last week, but I'm pretty sure the past 2 weeks, now starting off with segments, I'm like, Jesus Christ. One of the greatest things about AEW is that it starts with a hot match and it finishes with a hot match, and then in the meantime, in the middle, you get a great meaty big sloppy Joe sandwich of all the great stuff you love about professional wrestling, bits and promos and confrontations and more matches on top of that. If I'm going to be consistent, if anything else, I don't watch pro wrestling for talk segments. I don't watch it for the drama. I watch it for the matches. I want you to create compelling matches for me. If I sit down and the first thing I see is a guy coming out with a mic, I'm like, what the fuck? And when it comes to AEW, I'm doubly surprised. And I hope it doesn't become, and I know that one of the attractions for tons of people, one of the attractions of the MJF CM Punk feud was like, they're going to be promo battling with each other, and that's fantastic, right? But this is what I was afraid of. Too many promos, leaning into them too much. And we had that one 20-minute promo from a couple of weeks ago. We don't need to be constantly leaning into all the, and I'm like, just get on with it. Because ultimately, you're going to run out of material. It's going to get long in the tooth. Go for it. Just keep it short, keep it punchy. Would I have had less a problem with this promo had they done it after a match? Absolutely, 100%. 100% yes. Absolutely. Would have been comfortable with it if they had an opening match, then did the CM Phil local heel promo, then did the MJF shit to lead into the Battle Royal. Absolutely. But they start off with the promo. I can't get behind that. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. And I know it's an unpopular opinion right now, because most of the people that I converse with, that I chat with, that I enjoy having around, that I like to follow, and they all thought it was great. And I'm like, hey, we're starting off wrestling matches with promos, people. Wrestling shows with promos. Come on now. No. Happens once in a while? Okay. I think in the past month, we've had 3. Not my cup of the tea. The Battle Royal was fine. That being said, I enjoyed it. Like the little stories that they set up throughout it all. I think this was one of AEW's better booked battle royals, where it's, it wasn't too much of a jumble. I think there was a little too much of people lying around the ring, but that's a pet peeve of mine. It's not necessarily something that I'm reaching out to you and I'm saying this sucked because too many people. It's a pet peeve. It's like, keep busy, do something, try to push each other over the corner, just slap each other, whatever. But like everyone just lying around the ring waiting for their turn. I never liked that. And wherever. But yeah, there was some fun stuff. MJF using Wardlow to protect himself. I thought that was very cool. I like the Powerhouse Hobbs Wardlow moment. That was really dope. There was, of course, the MJF coming in to eliminate Leo Rush, Big Shotty Lee and Wardlow all at once, right? And Wardlow was like, "What the fuck?" And I think this is like the second year in a row where I went into this battle royal saying to myself, "Oh, the last two are going to be MJF and Wardlow, right? It has to be this time, right? It has to be." But no, they're gonna stretch that out a little more. And I'm like, cool, all right, Jimmy, let's keep on going. Maybe this will turn out to be the longest story that Tony Khan will have ever told in the history of pro wrestling. Right? It's like Wardlow and MJF. Everyone's expecting it, but we'll probably expect it. Well, it'll probably happen when we least expect it, and I can get behind that, right? The fact that I was expecting it maybe should have been a tell. Anyway, that wasn't going to happen. Anyway, that was all. That was all pretty cool. And then the final three were MJF, Ricky Starks, and Dante Martin, and it ended up that Dante Martin eliminated Ricky Starks, which came to a surprise because they were all in Team Taz. And then Taz on commentary immediately leads into the fact, "Oh, we were betrayed. We were the scumbag." And I'm like, oh, so okay. So we're flipping this one right around. Like I felt like this betrayal, this twist, this turn could have been underscored a little better. Like maybe Leo Rush running back out and like cheering or whatever and, hugging Dante. Like it happened, but I felt like for the live crowd, no one quite understood that Dante had turned on Team Taz kind of thing until Ricky Starks attacked, right? Look, I thought it could have been just handled a little differently, a little better, but it was good. I had fun. Did you have fun? I had fun watching this match. I hope you did too. But yeah, that was a lot. That was pretty cool. Let's see. After that, we had Jurassic Express and the Varsity Blondes versus the Acclaimed and 2.0. A very unfortunate chance, not chance, but a very unfortunate fan shouting out to Anthony Bowens during this match with a slur, which I thought was terrible. Really, no place for that. And it's the kind of thing I know AEW has being to a couple of shows, they have an audience, they have a code of behavior. That's what I was looking for. That they have a code of behavior. I hope whoever said that was bounced on his ass. And, this is the kind of situation where I would have been like, you know what, Anthony, go for it. Go for the guy. He probably wouldn't have, because Anthony Bowens, folks, I don't know if you follow his Twitter, but if you want a quality, wholesome, feel-good Twitter account to follow, Bowens he's a good dude. Good human. I don't know what anyone would, you know what I mean. So fine little match. Nothing out of the ordinary here. This was all Eddie Kingston ran down to because Daniel Garcia was trying to get involved in the match, and he being Eddie Kingston got involved and tossed him off the ring, and that allowed that basically led into the finish, and then after a whole angle with Eddie Kingston backstage where everyone was just beating up on each other. I feel like this is going to set up like a big, maybe like an 8-man, because there's still some matches that haven't been announced next week for Winter is Coming. You know, we know we're getting Bryan Danielson versus Wangman Adam Page, but there's still more stuff to add, and I feel like this one has some potential here, so we'll see how it goes. This was fine. This was fine. Match that was a lot of fun. You know, just like fun, right? Young Bucks defeating Chuck Taylor and Rocky Romero, and we were on full on, you know, best friends mode. Of course, Adam Cole was there, and Orange Cassidy was there as well. And this was fun. This was a fun West Coast style match. You know, dare I say, PWG, you know, whatever. But there was so much good stuff happening in this match. Fun stuff, right? Just enjoyable. I have nothing really to say about this match bad about it. It was just fun. Not a clinic, not something that you're going to remember, nothing that you're going to be like, man, 5 star, nothing like that. It's just a fun time sitting down on a Wednesday night watching wrestling, combination great moves, and you know, some nonsense to go along with it. It was fine. It was fine. But the big thing, the mark here, the question mark, the big thing. Ooh la 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 la! Sue was there. She drove into the arena with her minivan. She was carrying Trent with her, who made his return, looking like, honest to God, right? Looked like the Blade. The Butcher, the Blade, he looked like the Blade. He looks like the Blade. He's got a crew cut, and he looked fantastic. Came to the ring afterwards to sort of get rid of all the nonsense, because all the super click bastards were doing super click bastard shit. But what a reaction he got. And everyone was excited. And all of the best friends, all reunited. All of it. I'm going to tell you, the best friends right now, they're going to save Chaos. They are saving Chaos right now. They are absolutely saving Chaos right now. Nothing more. It's the most interesting part of that faction right now. Nothing in New Japan. Like, Okada has to pop in here and thank them at some point. It's good stuff. We're getting it. We're definitely moving towards Orange Cassidy versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole, who was much better off in WWE. I don't know if you've heard. He's going to be feuding with one of the most over acts in the company, Orange Cassidy. If he was fighting fucking QT Marshall week after week, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe. People are weird. People are weird. I don't know. It was fun. Glad to see that. I wonder if Sue brought cookies, because her cookies were a big hit last time. You know what else is a big hit? This following song. Kristen Ashley, the first lady of the MrWarrenHayes show. Yeah. Who just popped in? Hello, Kristen. Darling. Hello. We got Anakin JMT, who's here as well. Nice to see you, Anakin. And he also... Anakin JMT, member for 19 months of the MrWarrenHayes show. Thank you so much. Left a message. Says, Wishida Deeb 3 was submission or another stipulation. Ooh. It's unusual. It's unusual to see to have a women's feud in AEW being able to generate like interest and excitement just on the strength of its women. And that's something that has to be underscored. But I get your point. You know, you throw in a little something like a little, you know, submissions only. Ooh, just a little. Yeah, just a little pepper. Just a little spice.
Oh, yeah.
I know how to spice things. I see these people on, on Twitter and on fucking TikTok is the dregs of the universe that end up there, right? I hope you realize this. But I see these people cooking chicken breasts in the pan, right? Boiling them, steaming them. And I understand why you steam shit, okay? I get it. Health consciousness, I understand all of that. It's fine. But at some point, especially if you're steaming your chicken breasts, Jesus Christ, people, add some spice on it. Give that shit some look, some flavor. It is so easy to go buy any type of dried spice out there, some dried herbs, and just toss that on there. You get some paprika. Don't be afraid. And you just toss that shit on there. Salt, pepper. If you're like, oh, I'm afraid of spice, Warren, then get some barbecue sauce. You can make your own. It's so easy. You need ketchup, mustard. Usually that's basics. And you get yourself some brown sugar. Add in some. I like to add in some soy sauce in there. You add in some sriracha sauce. You mix that up. It's good. It could be a little spicier. Yeah, and you. Like, there's no reason to eat bland food. No reason. And it's not because you're eating healthy that your food can't be tasty. Do yourself a favor. My God. J.K. Schwal left us a couple of super chats. By the way, hello, J.K. Schwal. How are you? He left his first super chat and he said, Sue liked my tweet. So me and her are BFFs now. Congratulations. What was the tweet? What was the tweet about? Did you tweet about her bringing cookies to the backstage area for the wrestlers? Because that's what I would have tweeted. I didn't even know she was on Twitter. That's what I would have tweeted to her. J.K. Schwal's other super chat says, Sue is going to bring Okada to the ring and it's going to rule so fucking hard. Can you? Does she have a sunroof? Have we noticed if on the van, on her Dodge Caravan, does it have a sunroof? Because I could just see her pulling up and then the sunroof opening and then Okada coming out like in full Rainmaker jacket and shit and just, extending his arms and everyone just losing their mind.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, Sue does have to drive Okada to the ring. Mr. Fratz left a super chat. Thank you very much. Says, I'm on Apron Bump podcast soon. Hey, congratulations. Apron Bump.
Yeah.
Cool dude. I was on there as well in November reviewing. Great guy. Have a lot of fun. It's a great podcast and you guys should check it out. Apron Bump podcast. Especially if if you want to talk about historical wrestling, past wrestling. Wrestling from the past is what I'm trying to say. Good stuff. Anakin JMT left us a super chat. Thank you very much. Says, my only knowledge of Paprika is when she was the daughter of Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper from Blue's Clues. Well, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to. Here's the thing. To each and everyone's their own references, right? Of course, that's fine, because there's a whole generation people, mostly my age. Everything we know about classical music, we got from watching Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies, right? The Bugs Bunny stuff. That's how we know about classical music. So I'm not going to judge anyone who's like, I've only heard about Paprika on a children's program. Because the first time I've ever heard Flight of the Valkyries was Bugs Bunny. El Gato Pollo Loco! Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you. J.K. Schwal says her tweet was that her interview with SRS was awesome. LOL, not that big a tweet. Okay. Well, at least she appreciated it. Good. Good. Big interview. Big interview. Let's see. We're talking about wrestling here. Oh my God. Okay, here's the thing. Riho versus Jamie Hayter was fantastic. Now, I want everyone gather around. Come here. You can go over here. You come closer. Don't be afraid. In the back. Look, Evan. I know you're all the way there in the back. Come forward a little bit. I want to talk. I want to talk with you guys and gals and non-binary pals. Come closer. We're good. We have to have a serious talk here. Riho is good. Okay. All right. No. Don't get excited here. Riho's good. She's very good at professional wrestling. Okay. She's entertaining as hell. She's fantastic. She knows what she's doing. Now, the fact that she's smaller than everyone, that doesn't matter. Okay. It's not a thing. You know, you should be able to see past this because, you know, we're all in on the joke here as far as professional wrestling goes, right? We're all in on it, right? We all know that it's, you know, the fights aren't real. They're not really fighting. You know, we know all this, right? So when she fights someone bigger than Jamie Hayter and she gets a bit of offense, and that's fine. That's part of the story. That's part of the tale. And I also want to, I gotta ask you something. Let's say that you're someone who, you know, who watches Riho matches and you're like, I can't get into Riho because she's too small and she takes too much, you know, everyone is bigger than her and, you know, and she shouldn't be getting so much offense in. If you say that about Riho, can I ask you, are you a Darby Allin fan? Cause that's exactly what Darby Allin is, you know. The only difference between the two is that Riho dresses like a porcelain doll, and Darby Allin wears makeup. That's essentially the difference. Because I just want to be sure that we're clear here. Like, if you're okay with Darby Allin, you should be okay with Riho. Okay? Are we good? All right. Very good. Good, everyone. Because this was fantastic. And I am still thinking about that brain buster that Jamie Hayter pulled on Riho. Who posted that on the Discord? I don't remember who posted it on the Discord. But rewatching it, she collapsed into herself. She's, you know, we're talking about Looney Tunes. You know when they do the accordion thing and you know what I'm talking about? Like, this is it. You know, this is that's what I was totally expecting her to go. Fantastic match. Like, honestly, match of the night for you, boy. I thought this was great. And again, you put your women, your talented, extraordinary women, you put them in matches against each other. You get magic, man. Poof. Someone was telling me recently, not someone was telling me. I picked up a bit of a conversation, but that the women's matches on Dynamite for the past few weeks, or at least for, I don't know, they've been scoring higher in the ratings. Like they've been scoring good ratings. I'm like, of course they are. You know why? Because AEW is putting them on television, making them feel important. So it's basic, man. That's what pro wrestling is. If you want something to feel important, treat it like it's important, and your audience will get on board. And that's what we're doing here. So I'll try and dive a little more into that and see if there's any truth to that statement, because then that would only mean, hey, more women on TV, please. Julia Hart got blacklisted. Saw too many perverts, got excited about that on Twitter. That's when I kind of turned shit off. I mean, I'm okay with Aleister Black just destroying Griff Garrison and destroying Brian Pillman Jr. Absolutely okay with that. And and then we got the reveal. This Friday on Rampage. This Friday on Rampage, professional wrestling, the landscape of pro wrestling will never be the same again. CM Punk debuted. Old news. Bryan Danielson in AEW. Pisha. The big one. This Friday. The in-ring debut of Hook. That's right. The main event. Maybe it'll be the main event, but he is the main event. The People's Champion. The People's main event. It's coming to us. Finally. Weeks, months of anticipation. Looking at those luscious locks and wondering what snacks will he carry out this week. It's coming to a head. We will not have to wait any longer. It is happening. Hook. Send Hook to the ring. I have never, it was so, this is what Twitter is equal parts garbage and wonder. It really is. Because then when you see the timeline explode with, it's Hook, and then the whole thing starts trending, I think it's bananas cuckoos. I love that stuff. I love it. And you know what? And here's the thing. Instead of taking Hook and shaving his head and putting him in a denim sleeveless vest. I know a vest is sleeveless. Bear with me here. Instead of changing his entire look, they're going with him. They're going with what brought him to the dance, what got him over with the people to begin with. And they didn't change his name to Harlan to try and get people interested. And now, it's Hook. Will he bring snacks for everyone? Chat, I want you to let me know right now what snacks you think Hook is going to bring to the match. I think this is a crucial poll that we have to. I need to get the feel of the people here. I need to understand what we are anticipating, what we're looking for with Hook's debut. I'm excited. And can I ask you one thing? Can I ask you, even if you're not excited about Hook, even if you're like, I don't get this meme, whatever, let people enjoy this, okay? Let people enjoy the debut of Hook. Even if you're like, I don't understand, it's a meme. Don't be a sourpuss. Let people have nice things once in a while, right? Just let them have fun. Jerky. He's bringing jerky. Horse jerky? I think he seems, I think his snack tastes are probably basic. I think it's just plain old jerky. Just like, it doesn't matter from which animal it came from, right? I think Hook will bring whatever snacks world-renowned food aficionado Action Bronson prepares. My God. Doritos! Is he that basic? Cool Ranch Doritos. Okay, that's an important nuance as opposed to like just plain old nacho flavor. Yes, you can be a sweet and sour puss. And Bryan Danielson defeated John Silver in the main event, and that's leading us in. I thought this was, I mean, it was a fine match. I have nothing against it, but I feel it didn't quite kick into second year kind of thing. But it perpetuated the story, right? And it's fine. That's all that happened. That's all that matters, right? That's really all that matters. It was, a good main event. A lot of people were very, very high on this episode of Dynamite. I was like, it was fine. It was fine. But I think it lacked the magic formula of a hot opener and a hot finish. I thought the finish was fine. Good angle to wrap it up with Wangman Page running to the ring. Again, I think the only thing that was missing from this sauce was Hangman wrestling to the lead up of Winter is Coming. I think. We'll see. I enjoyed Dynamite, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it wasn't my favorite episode of the year. That was fine. Nothing wrong with it. Entertaining stuff in the middle. Like that pizzazz. Anakin JMT left a super chat. Thank you very much. Anakin, he says, best wishes to Chris Jericho. Hope he's recovering well. Yeah, he I saw that as I was getting ready. He was hospitalized overseas, right? While he was on tour. They canceled a date for Fozzy. I hope he's okay. I hope he's all right. Best wishes to Mr. Jericho. You having fun so far? Are you guys enjoying yourselves tonight? I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying myself. Not that I usually don't, but I'm feeling good, particularly good tonight. So leave a like. I'd leave a like. If I could, I would leave a like. I think I can leave a like. Well, I have to. Well, not from my dashboard here. Look, it's too complicated. But for you, it's really simple. You don't have an excuse. It can be complicated for me, and I'll add the like later. But I expect you to do it now. I don't expect you to like the video. But if you are enjoying yourself, hey, consider it. I appreciate it. What else should we talk about tonight? Let's go over to last Sunday to NXT. I was gonna do the William Regal one. I was gonna do the William Regal voice, but you can't. You can't anymore, cause that NXT that the one where William Regal does the War Games voice. Yeah. It's gone. It's dead. It's no longer with us anymore. It is bereft of life. It hit the bricks. It is singing in the choir eternal. We're done. We're kaput. We're kaput. Should we talk about this straight out the gate? Anakin JMT leaving us a super chat. Thank you, Anakin. Says, what the fuck? He said WTF, but I'm going full in on this one, Anakin. What the fuck was that NXT War Games segment? You know the one. Are we talking about the Jiro segment? I think we are. Where silly, wacky Japanese man eats too much food and then poops. Right? That is the one. That is what. Thank you, by the way, for those of you who got the reference of what I was talking about. Yeah, Jiro, right? I don't look, here's the thing. My overall thoughts on NXT now is very simple, and this, it goes into the Jiro thing, because it was nonsense, absolutely nonsense. NXT 2.0 is not for me. And as I say that, there's probably people in WWE who are listening right now. I know who you are. And they're like, that's fine, Warren. You're a middle-aged white guy. This is NXT 2.0 is not for you. We're not customizing this show for you. And I'm like, okay. But it is absolutely 100% not a show for me. It is not a wrestling program for me. And like I said, that's fine because I'm probably not the demo they're going for. But holy crap. And I mean that. Like, hey, Sean Taggart, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. This is the thing. The Jiro shit, literally and figuratively, is just something I stare at. I'm like, who is entertained by this? Who sits there and thinks this is great? And we all know the answer. It's one guy. We know what the answer is because the real demographic of everything WWE does is one dude. The one demographic is Vince McMahon. If Vince thinks it's funny, it's going on TV. And we had talked about this when Jiro came to NXT. He was going to fit in because he was used to doing nonsense and doing comedy spots. He was going to fit in here. He was going to be okay. But I didn't think it was going to be this profoundly stupid, you know? Something where I'm like, I don't know who this speaks to. I don't even know if anyone in the demo that they're trying to reach thought that was funny. And then I don't know who thought that, but you know what I even thought was even more repulsive in all of this is that they're sneakily adding Kushida to this nonsense. I don't know if you realize this, but Kushida has become a part of this comedy act. Fucking Kushida, multiple time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, the ace of the junior division for years. Heir to Jushin Thunder Liger, legend of pro wrestling, is in the Rainbow brand of WWE, the Technicolor Dreamcoat brand, doing stupid Lost in Translation shit with Jiro. We are this close to having him join Akira Tozawa up on main to run after the 24/7 title. This doesn't speak to me. I'm sorry to say. There's nothing I can do with this. And I watched War Games. War Games, I did not think was a bad show. I think the highs were high, and I think everything else was pretty middling. Not anything offensively bad, just very middling. And I watched that, saw the Johnny Gargano stuff. I'm going to talk about that, of course. So then I tune in on Tuesday, and I watch the whole show. And I'm like, I'm coming off of a pay-per-view. Well, pay-per-view. Let's call it. Coming off of War Games. Don't call them a takeover. I'm like, okay, well, look, there's momentum. I should watch it, right? I'll probably be able to get into that, right? But my God. This show is just, there's nothing there. And the thing here, what's even more appalling to all of this is that NXT is, from all intents and purposes, is reverting back to what it was meant to be in the first place. A spot where you grow talent and you bring them up to main. Anything that you are seeing in NXT, if you thought that people being called up to NXT in the past while Hunter was still in charge and then going up to main and then Vince doing what the fuck ever, and completely ignoring what NXT was bad back then, imagine now, where nothing that any of these people are doing or developing in NXT is going to carry over to main. Nothing. Everything is going to be reset. There is no reason to get behind anyone. Even Braun Breaker, I'm convinced, when he's going to be tossed up to main, they're not going to lean any harder into the Steiner stuff than they are now. Why would you be confident that Joe Gacy, you think Joe Gacy's going to get over doing that shit? NXT is an exercise in futility now. Because at least before, it was an indie super show. So the people that you saw in the indies, or that you didn't get the chance to see on the indies, but you heard about, now you finally get to see them, and they're all wrestling each other. They're doing these dream matches. They're recreating matches that they had in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla or in Ring of Honor or whatever, and they're doing it here, and it's exciting, and it's fresh, and it's filling up stadiums, and not stadiums, but arenas, and it's cool, and now you don't even get that. You get these people, you don't know who they are. Everyone's starting fresh, everyone's coming in from nowhere, and it's like, what's her name? The daddy's girl gimmick. I don't even know what her name is. I was a gymnast. Oh, I'm not watching gymnastics, am I? I'm watching wrestling. I know they don't want wrestlers anymore. I know. I saw the whole thing with the tryouts and the new PC class, and none of them are pro wrestlers because they don't want to bring in pro wrestlers anymore. They don't want to bring any indie people in anymore. They want to bring in athletes that they can mold in whatever way they want. So we're going to be seeing gymnasts and college football linebackers and shit like that. And how many are actually going to make it? How many are actually going to turn into WWE superstars? I'm reserving judgment. We'll see what happens. But NXT is a futile 2 hours of programming. And a lot of people predicted it when NXT went to USA Network and turned into 2 hours. A lot of people said it. This is the death knell for NXT. This is where everything is going to start going downhill. I don't think we expected it to go downhill as quickly, nor in the format that it is today. It's just not a good show. It's not and everything that people find entertaining, Tony D'Angelo, the Creed brothers, Braun Breaker, it's so few and far between. And there's so much main roster bullshit now invading NXT. What the hell is Brendan Vink doing with a wig? Doing the wig. Oh, it's just like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle made it work. Kurt Angle, here's the thing. Kurt Angle was a genius. He was lightning in a bottle. He's just one of those people that just gave him anything and he made it work. Anything Vince threw at him, he was able to make it work. Not everyone is Kurt Angle. It's not because one guy was able to pull it off successfully that you can try it with three other guys in 3 different formats down the road and be like, hey, this guy did it once before. It's not a question of whether it's been done before. It was done successfully, but that doesn't mean that it'll be successful every single time, because the shit that Kurt Angle had done, jeez. It took someone special to pull that shit off. That's what Kurt Angle was. Back to War Games. Cora Jade, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, and Raquel Gonzalez defeated Dakota Kai and Toxic Attraction in the Women's War Games match, which I thought was a mess. It was all right. I thought it was messy. I thought production had a lot of trouble keeping up. And look, I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm glad that they're giving some spotlight to Cora Jade, the former Elena Black. I think Elena Black is a very good wrestler, and at her age, she has these fantastic opportunities. And if they want to, push someone different and try some stuff out, I'm okay with it. I'm really, really okay with it. But the problem that I have here is, yes, she's young. She has a skateboard. She's bringing Avril Lavigne back, right? I understand what they were doing, she hurt her arm and then she couldn't quite compete. But she's a pro wrestler, all right? She's trained to be a pro wrestler. Now, if the story you're telling is the minute she gets her arm hurt, she loses her mind and she's like, I don't know what to do anymore. Get her the fuck out of a ring. Because she's not ready to be in a ring. You know what I mean? That's not a sign of someone you want to get behind. You want to see her overcome the struggle of the arm, right? But she spent most of the match going, and then when she finally does get the pin on JC Jane, I think. I don't quite remember. Was it JC or it was JC. When she finally does get the pin on her, JC Jane is out and she's sitting in front of her and she's going like, and she's looking around. It's like, me? Could I pin her? I'm like, Jesus, Cora, you're a wrestler. This is what you're trained to do. Yes, go for the pin. That's what you should be doing. That doesn't make it for me. That's not something where I'm like, oh, isn't that sweet? It's like, you're a dummy. I know she's not, in kayfabe, of course. But I'm like, why are you doing this? Don't do that. Just jump on and pin. Why are you doing? And it's as if she was completely out of her depth. And I think they could have told us that story a little more subtly, much more finesse is the word I'm looking for, without ham-fisting it like they did and making Cora Jade look like a goof, because Cora Jade ended up looking like a goof. The only person who had any kind of consistency in their character in this match, Io Shirai. And I popped when that happened, when Io Shirai, when Cora dislocated her shoulder. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, she's hurt for real. She's hurt for real. And I'm like, she's not hurt for real. When people are hurt for real in the ring, WWE turned the cameras away. They kept the cameras on her. They kept the whole thing, in frame. No, she's not hurt for real. It's okay to be worked. Don't get me wrong, but don't worry, she's fine. That's my point. And so Cora's, going to the door, and the referees are there. Here, come on, you're injured. You need to get out of this match. And Io's like, no, closes the door. She's like, I'll pop your shoulder back in. We got to win this. Plonk. There is one person in this entire show that is booked consistently in their character, and that's Io Shirai. Io Shirai doesn't care about making friends. She wants to win matches. She doesn't give a shit about Zoe Stark. She's like, look, right now we're winning matches. We got championships. All right, let's do it. So that's one thing. And then she's like, Cora, you want to get out of the match? Oh, no fucking way. No fucking way. It's like, I'll pop it back. That's fantastic stuff. Like, Io Shirai is still the greatest. She's still the GOAT. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. But anyway, fun times, but I thought the match was a bit of a mess. It wasn't fantastic. Dylan McKenzie, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. My match of the night: Imperium defeated Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Wang Dagner. Doesn't matter. Imperium are so good. But I mean, there is no... look, and here. Von Wagner, he held his own. He was perfectly acceptable in the role that he had here. But this was a three-man match. Kyle O'Reilly, Fabian Aichner, and Marcel Bartel. Fantastic shit. Absolutely fantastic. And Imperium are great. Imperium are absolutely fantastic. They're just, they are a top tier tag team. This was a lot of fun. Energy, stakes. You could feel the crucialness of everything. Then, of course, you had the whole thing with Kyle O'Reilly at the end. I'll talk about that in a bit. As Juan Digner decided that he was going to attack Kyle O'Reilly, but Kyle O'Reilly was like, I saw that. What did he say? He said, I saw that turn coming from a mile away. And I'm like, oh, look at him just dropping a little verbiage here for the rest of us. Thank you, Kyle. You are on your way out, aren't you? Because you're for sure that's one of the banned words. I loved it. I thought it was great. Cameron Grimes defeated Duke Hudson to shave his head. See, this is it. This is the main roster garbage that annoys me, that I don't like. And this match was passable. That's all. I don't have anything to add about it. NXT Cruiserweight title. Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy, because Joe Gacy thinks the Cruiserweight title is fat shaming people. I hate this so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate all of this. And this was not a good match. This was not good, because Roderick Strong is better than this. He can wrestle better than this. And you know what? Joe Gacy is better than this as well. This was not a good match because they're leaning way too much in this stupid ass gimmick that is not going to get Joe Gacy over. People are just going to be annoyed with him. And what boggles my mind, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about this stupid ass gimmick again, but they're trying to reach out to younger audiences and millennials, whatever you want to call them, and they're making fun of millennials. What is the I don't understand. I'm convinced the Cruiserweight title's on its way out. It's not sticking around. And the War Games, the men's War Games match, Team 2.0, made up of Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Dollar Store Cody Rhodes, defeated Johnny Gargano, LA Knight, Pete Dunne, and Tommaso Ciampa. I thought this was a very good War Games match. I think I liked it better than last year's, which last year's I thought was a little middling. This was very good. I lost it when Johnny Gargano came out to Rebel Heart. I just started crying because I feel shit. I like when wrestling makes me feel stuff. And I tweeted it out earlier in the day, and I was like, if Johnny Gargano comes out to Rebel Heart, I'm going to lose it. And that's exactly what happened. And Chris and I don't know if you're still in the chat, but you can attest to this. We were watching it together. And then the composite gear of all of his main event takeover gears. I was a mess. I thought this was a fun match. I really, really thought this was a fun one. I still don't understand why Team 2.0, which is the team that is representing the new direction of the brand, were the heels in this match. And I'm going to tell you, you can come in here and say Braun Breaker is the future, and Dollar Store Cody Rhodes is the future, and Tony D'Angelo is the future. But this match clicked because you had the seasoned experience of guys like Gargano and Ciampa and Dunne, who are ring generals and who can take over a match, make sure it goes, everything clicks, everything connects. That's all. And that's really all you need. I thought this was a lot of fun. I really thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I didn't think War Games was a terrible show. Don't think it was great either. I think the tag team match was fantastic. I thought the men's War Games was good. I think it was a lot of fun. And yeah, we can talk about, the roof on the kid, the War Games.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, there have been discussions, right? But I think NJMT left us a super chat. Thank you very much. It says Team 2.0 is on AEW. What are you talking about? No. Let's not get things confused here, Anikin. Team 2.0 is what was in the ring on AEW. We have the Canadian sensations, the Quebecois champions 2.0, which is not Team 2. They are a team called 2.0, and on top of that, you spell out point completely, right? Point. Don't do them dirty like that. I know it's a joke. So this all led to this Tuesday on NXT 2.0 where everything was up in the air now, because now, you know, leading into War Games, there was a lot of situation, a lot of talk with Johnny Gargano, a lot of things that they were filming and putting out on social media that was giving the impression that this was Johnny Gargano's last match, you know, that he was on his way out, that, you know, even Ciampa in the pregame promo with the team was like, this is Johnny's night. And I'm like, holy shit, okay, this is the coming out to Rebel Heart, the gear. I'm like, okay, we're wrapping some shit up here. There were rumors, but now it was really feeling tangible. There was something true to this. On top of that, the rumors that Kyle O'Reilly as well was getting interested to get the hell out of Dodge as well. You know, that they're not re-signing, that Johnny Gargano had extended an extended contract a week. He extended his contract a week to do the War Games stuff and do, you know, and earlier today, you know, was still being reported that, you know, they had not re-signed yet. Gargano had been hinting at it, you know, but you know, nothing was clear. Even Dave Meltzer earlier today said that as he stands right now, the big rumors is that neither of them is that he's not going back to NXT, but he might not be done with WWE, Johnny Gargano, right? He even said that one of the two was very much considering signing with AEW. That was the lay of the land. But now, just before later tonight, Fightful Select brought this out, being reported widely now. Johnny Gargano hasn't re-signed, and he couldn't come. He's not going to re-sign. They haven't come to an agreement to re-sign with WWE. So technically speaking, as of midnight tonight, apparently Johnny Gargano is a free agent. That's huge. Kyle O'Reilly, I haven't seen any news as of yet. I'm not gonna pop on Twitter now and check. I just want to chat about this, you know. Kyle O'Reilly, you know, not expected to re-sign. Everyone's expecting him to go back to go to AEW, and I think that's, look here. Let's start by talking about Kyle O'Reilly. You know, when I read the report from Dave Meltzer saying, you know, one of them is strongly considering going to AEW, I was like, it's Kyle O'Reilly. It's Kyle O'Reilly. I don't see Kyle O'Reilly doing anything else than going into this promotion, because a guy his size with his skills can flourish there. In WWE, look, he had a taste of what was expected, what he could expect on main roster with the 2.0 switch. Completely lost, no direction, being paired up with Vin Wagner, like nothing of in, and this is a guy that Triple H was trying to get him over into a main event spot, a solo main event spot. And I was like, nah, we're gonna do that. Death knell for Kyle O'Reilly to be on main. He's no dummy. Saw that coming. Of course he did. There's no place for him in WWE. And, you know, I think regardless of what happens, AEW or not, this guy can go anywhere. He's got friends anywhere. He's got connections everywhere. He's a star, and he can still go. Christ, put him in Battle of Los Angeles next year in 2022. Please do. Go right ahead and do that. I'd be excited about it. Of course, there's always the reunite him with his buddies. But here's the thing. Here's the one thing. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be cold glass of water Warren here. But if you take, do you really want the Undisputed Era to reunite in AEW? Or are we doing something, because, AEW's steered pretty clear of rehashing, WWE stuff, bringing in people from WWE, but not doing the same thing, Is that what we want? But then again, I also understand that Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, their history goes way back. So with Adam Cole, way back before the Undisputed Era, right? It's all just a continuation. It's all the same lore, basically. But, anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. Johnny Gargano, though, look, there's going to be people out there who are going to look back on Johnny Gargano's career. They're going to call this a disaster, that he was never able to get out of NXT. And these people are going to be wrong. Do not listen to these people. They are going to try and take you down a very, very wrong path. Gargano had a fantastic career in NXT in the 6 years he was there. First guy to win the NXT Triple Crown Championship. Phenomenal matches across the board. And the title of Johnny Takeover, the moniker, I should say, of Johnny Takeover was definitely earned. A quality, extraordinary matches with Adam Cole at TakeOver 25 and TakeOver Toronto, with Andrade, right? That one where, how long Meltzer gave it 5 stars, and it had been like how many years since Meltzer had given a WWE match a 5-star rating. The DIY match versus the Revival, and of course his series with Ciampa. And again, there's going to be people who are going to talk to you about it and be like, oh, but it was so over melodramatic, and yes, at moments it was, and it got a little long in the tooth. But you know what? We are all going to remember the DIY split and the feud that ensued, and how it made Tommaso Ciampa into the greatest villain of all time, and how it made Johnny Gargano into the biggest babyface that company has had since Daniel Bryan. And we're going to look back at that, and we're going to remember it with passion and fondness. And Johnny Gargano was, because of it, was able to have the career that he had there. And the memories, the moments, the matches, the 3 M's, not just like, hey, remember when he rappelled into the ring, or he didn't. We're going to talk about the matches because he had fantastic matches. WWE is losing one of its objectively one of its best workers. He's been one of the best workers in the company for years. But here's the thing. This is what makes me excited, is that we can get excited about Johnny Gargano wrestling again. Because, overproduced, and the way stuff was entertaining, but it wasn't the same Johnny, right? His last great match was with Kushida earlier this year in February. That was an absolutely outstanding match as well. It's time for us to get excited about Johnny Gargano again. It's time for me to get back to 2019, when Johnny Gargano is 18, 19, when he's at the top of his fucking game, and he's having these incredible matches, and I'm like, Jesus, why aren't we getting Johnny Gargano versus Kazuchika Okada? And tell me I'm wrong. We're going to be able to get excited at that, because Johnny Gargano, whatever he decides to do, is going to get back out into the wilderness of independent wrestling, and he's going to start putting on extraordinary matches again. I cried with the whole 9 yards, with the retirements and so on and so forth. It got to me, because I felt attached to the Gargano saga and everything that he went through. The stories that were told throughout his entire run, they weren't all good, but Johnny Gargano was always too good a wrestler for me to not throw my legit. This hat that I'm wearing right now, with the Gargano logo, was the first piece of wrestling merch that I had bought since back in the day, when I got a big foam Hacksaw Jim Duggan thumb. It was big, it was blue. That's how long it had taken me. No, I didn't have an NWO shirt. I didn't have a Steve Austin shirt. What are you gonna do? No. But this, I felt attached to him, and I still do, and I'm exciting. I'm excited to see how far this is going to go now for him. I'm excited to see, put him in Battle of Los Angeles 2022. Let's have some fun, goddammit. And, big shout out to everyone out there in Twitter wrestling land who started explaining to me how wrestling retirements work and how, you always put over a new guy when you go out. Because I thought WWE could have just given a nice moment for Johnny Gargano in the ring and let him say thank you and farewell. Sort of reward, your fans for sticking behind Johnny Gargano and sticking behind NXT right up until this point and being like, yeah, you guys have been here all this time. Gargano's been a big part of it. You guys have been, here's a nice sentimental moment. Let's have his long rival Tommaso Ciampa come in. Oh, they all did it for the social medias, of course, but they could have done it for television. But then I want to thank everyone for really explaining to me how wrestling retirements work, because clearly I had no clue, no idea how, that you go out on your back. But I also believe that at some point, things should change. Things need to change. And especially when you're a company who basically has very, 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 very razor thin goodwill amongst wrestling fans everywhere. You could create a moment that's, just for the fans, just to say thank you. Doesn't all, that's how it's always been. I don't care. I don't give a shit. When people tell me that kind of stuff, it's like, oh, that's how it's always been. I'm kind of like, okay, good. It's time to change it. Let's shake things up a little. Because what happened at Johnny Gargano's goodbye speech was boring. It wasn't exciting. And are you fucking kidding me? You're giving the heat to Grayson Waller? Get the fuck out of here. Come on now. Let's be honest with each other. Grayson Waller, hit the bricks, man. I've been calling him Dollar Store Cody Rhodes for a reason, and I'm gonna keep calling him that. There's nothing interesting about him, and there was nothing interesting about Johnny Gargano's goodbye. We could have got that as fans, and WWE could have gone away with the lifelong tradition of going out on your back. He didn't even go out on his. He went out on his back on Sunday at the War Games match. He lost. He was out on his back. Give him a match. Give us the heartfelt, teary-eyed moment. Give that to us. Let WWE, for fuck's sake, let us feel something genuine instead of having to sit around and be like, well, this worked. And you know what? Here's the thing. And there's someone who had tweeted that out to me, and I'm like, look, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell. As a viewer, did you prefer seeing this Grayson Waller getting the heat, that delicious heat? Did you prefer to see that, or would you have preferred to see Johnny Gargano have a nice heartfelt thank you and goodbye to the audience? What would you have preferred? And guess what? They didn't answer. Of course they didn't answer. Because their only answer they have is, well, it's always been like this, but I don't give a shit. What would you have liked to see? And professional wrestling organization, WWE has forgotten that at some point you have to make your audience happy. You do have to give them what they want. And it's not always about building heat. You don't know how to build heat anymore, WWE, regardless. Cut that shit out. Pluggo, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. And DGMC left us a super chat. Thank you very much, DGMC. He says, Johnny and/or Kyle signed for New Japan Pro Wrestling's US expansion? I think that a guy like Kyle O'Reilly for the New Japan US stuff would be great. But I also think what people want to see with Kyle O'Reilly is they want to see him fight. They want to see him fight the Japanese talent. They want to see him fight Kazuchika Okada. They want to see him fight Tomohiro Ishii. They want to see him fight Katsuyori Shibata. That's what, if he comes back, that's what they want. That's what the people want. So yes to the US thing, but to a degree. Twan Mac, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Before we wrap it up, especially since I put it in the title, I want to talk about the Becky Lynch Liv Morgan match before we leave. So we might go a little over. What? Warren going over? That's unheard of. Warren, if you didn't talk so much about phone wallet cases, you would stay under time. I know. Stop arguing with me, fictional voice in my head. All right, we're going to be honest with each other. Are we going to be honest with each other? We're going to talk. We're going to speak truths. No, maybe not truths, but we're going to be honest. Honesty is important. I don't want to give the impression that I'm just spitting out facts, although no, I'm being stupid. But we're going to speak to each other plain spokenly. We're going to be real with each other here. The Becky Lynch Liv Morgan match on Raw this week, the main event, was not good, okay? And it breaks my heart every time I have to say this, but it breaks my heart because I love both women and I want them to succeed. But this was set up to fail, okay? This was set up to fail, and it's hardly the talent's fault to a degree, okay? Look, Becky Lynch, the man, big time Bex, the mom. I love Becky Lynch. And you'd be hard pressed to find someone who does not, at the very least, appreciate Becky Lynch. At the level that she is in her career, at the level she is performing these days, Becky Lynch should be able to bring wrestlers up to her level, to the main event level. She should be able to guide them to outstanding matches every time. Because she's the champ. Because she's the face of the company. Yes, I said it. She's the face of the company. She's at the top. She's at the top of the game. There's two other women that you can argue in that company that can touch her. Okay? That we could sit around and debate on, and it'd be very, very interesting. But in my opinion, she's untouchable. She shouldn't be whiffing moves. And she should not be. She should be helping less experienced talent cover things up a little bit. She should be there to play off their strengths. Main criticism number one. And I love Becky. Don't get me wrong. That was weird to me. Number two. Liv was unquestionably nervous. Unquestionably. And she was sloppy. She was sloppy and slow. Botches. But I can only blame the talent so far to a certain degree here. Because this is on WWE. This is on the booking. This is by putting them in this match for some godforsaken reason. Everyone loves Liv. Doesn't mean she has to be in the main event. Doesn't mean she has to be up there in a title. But WWE is unable to create a proper mid-card for the men or the women. So the only way to make a talent feel important in WWE is to put them in a title picture. Why do you think there's always this rotation of women, title and title and title and title, and then why is Toni Storm challenging for Charlotte's title? She's done jack shit on main. So first and foremost, if there was a mid-card where people could get excited for Liv without having her be in these main event spots, that'd be great. Because Liv wasn't ready. She really wasn't. Now, here's the thing. Again, and I've underscored this multiple times. I think Liv Morgan is a natural babyface. WWE played their cards right. They would have a massive underdog babyface come from behind, crawl her way through adversity to get to where they are. And you know what, WWE, if there's one thing they can do well, it is the underdog babyface thing. They know how to do that. They don't know how to do much, but they know how to do that. And they have someone who has a unique connection with the audience that they could play off of. They could do it if they wanted. But they don't have faith in Liv. The proof was in everything that led up to this match. If you thought that WWE believed that Liv Morgan was ready for this spot, you're deluding yourselves. In the lead up to this match, Liv Morgan was eliminated halfway through the Survivor Series match, which, by the way, would have been a perfect opportunity to heat her up. Have her be the second to last survivor with Bianca. Let some of that great Bianca shine go on to her. You know, the two stalwart, warriors left at the end against like 4 women on the other side. Completely whiffed opportunity. Complete. Okay? And then, I mean, you probably didn't watch it. I didn't either, but I know the result. She lost against Bianca at the Soldiers show, the greatest American wrestling program, the tribute to the troops. She lost there. Trust me and they didn't put her into any matches. They don't know how to heat her up. They don't know how to heat anyone up regardless. And then I said, you go on Twitter and he said, no one's cheering for Liv. No one gives a shit about this match. And honestly, why would you? Because they didn't have Liv do anything interesting. And I want to underscore this. This isn't Liv's fault. This is what WWE had her do. This is crucial that we understand this. It has nothing to do with her talent, with what she's capable of. And I will say it again, I don't think she's a mind-blowing great wrestler. I don't think she's the next coming of, Miko Satomura. She's not. But she has those intangible qualities that could make her a babyface, a true-to-form babyface for the women's division. And if they had a mid-card, they'd be great. But the main fucking problem, is that not only did they not heat her up in any way, shape, or form, they don't heat up their challengers. They never do. Toni Storm, what have they been doing on SmackDown? Pie faces. Have Toni Storm win some matches, right? Have Liv Morgan wrestle some fools. Bring them some people from the PC that she can squash on Raw. Get people excited to see her. It's cutting promos where she's trying to cry. That's not going to get people excited. Promos where you're a bully. Jesus Christ. How many times have we heard the B word in WWE now, right? Getting off track here. The main thing is that WWE, I said it earlier when I'm talking about Jade Cargill. I have no problems with them giving Jade Cargill time on TV, because the only time that you really learn anything in a professional wrestling match is when your nose is to the grind and you're on television in front of a live crowd. That's when you pick everything. That's when things come together. That's how you get better. And it's not by having Liv Morgan wrestle 4-minute matches week after week that all of a sudden they can go, all right, tonight you're wrestling 15 minutes. She's only been wrestling matches a third of the length of what she put on Monday. How do you expect her to navigate a 15-minute match when all she does is 4 minutes. And I can trust you. Trust me when I tell you that there is not a wrestler out there that is going to tell you, yeah, you can learn your craft by wrestling 4-minute matches week after week, not a problem. It's not true. It is not true. You wrestle 4-minute matches week after week, you are going to stagnate. And that's the issue with Liv Morgan, who could grow out of this role, who could have been ready for this, but not now because everything was stacked against her. No heat, no faith from the company, no convincing in-ring experience for us to be confident that she was going to be able to pull off a 15-minute match. And I will circle back to say it was up to Becky Lynch to help guide her through this 15 minutes. There is no reason why Becky could not have elevated her during this match. And I don't mean elevated like, oh, make her come out looking better as a superstar. No, like I mean elevated her game. And it sucks. It sucks because then it gives ammunition to a whole bunch of people who are like, WWE women suck. Liv Morgan sucks. Liv Morgan does not suck. Liv Morgan is dealt very unreasonable hands. Very, very unreasonable hands. But I guess that's what happens when management doesn't have faith in you, and it shows. As opposed to Austin Theory, who's doing clips with Vince McMahon, that's going to help him. It's going to help him more than Liv. But that's it. See, and this is why I wanted to chat with you guys about this, as opposed to just putting out one or two tweets that, I find it hard to, because the Monday night match was not good, but there were nuanced reasons for this. And it's not because either woman sucks at what they do. They don't. They don't. WWE producing is stifling them. Especially Liv Morgan. I don't think she's living up to her potential. I don't think she's being pushed the way she should. I don't think she's being developed into a competent wrestler, but that's not her fault. God, I would love to see her after a year on the indies. I really would. I'd love to see that. That was the weekly wrestling inspection. Folks, I want to thank you so very much for joining me this evening. I really, per usual, I always have a very good time hanging out, chit-chatting, enjoying wrestling, going off topic. But I really do appreciate you, everyone. Every week, week in, week out, we're coming towards the end of the year, and it's still, you get pensive, you get reflective at this time of year. You really, well, at least I do, and I'm always humbled. I'm always extremely, extremely humbled at the support, everyone who pops up, everyone who joins every Thursday, everyone who listens on demand, on YouTube, on podcast. Thank you all so much. Like the video if you enjoyed this. Leave a review. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you all so very, very much. And if you want to become a member, there's still time. Support the channel. Then you come join us in a few minutes. I'll be firing up the post stream where we're going to talk about anything related to pro wrestling and maybe even some things that aren't. You'll have to tune in to find out. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me tonight. Have a great rest of your week. See you next time.